Like I won the lottery, nothing happens. I'm in an argument with my wife, and like I don't hit her. I don't put a bitch in her place. I don't raise my hands to a woman. Like that's something. That's like something real. That's
Your
something real.
your humor is that's very you. I mean, that's what I can say. I don't raise my hand, I don't hit her.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's like that. It's just very consistent with what tickles your brain. Like there's an absurdist, like to the max, dark part of humanity. I don't hit her. I don't lock her up. I only did once, but I don't anymore. And it's like, what's the funny part about it? It's like the lowest standard ever.
I'm not going back to prison. You don't go back to prison. That's something.
Buckle up, episode 73, going Riverside today. I feel like when it rains, it pours, Michael. There's just so much going on. Are you in that right now?
Oh, yeah, man. The Damon Lillard trade. It's all it talks about the trade.
Yeah,
big trade.
I mean, I don't think
Blazers, Suns, Bucks.
I don't think it was the right move. I think they're getting overzealous and they're putting a lot of stock in what he can do. I'm hoping he does well, but honestly, there's always a situation in which there's hype and actual data. And if you look at his actual data and shooting record,
the numbers
speak for themselves, but everybody always is hot out the gate. But you can't just trade based on that. You have to look at the long-term projections of someone's career. I don't even know what sport we're talking about.
What do you think about his knee? No, that's the you just maxed out your fake knowledge of the NBA.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was NBA. That was pretty good, though. You got to admit.
That was pretty good. That could pass. That could pass.
Everyone is telling me, dude, your impressions, you got to do sports stuff. You'll kill. And they're probably right that there's a whole world of sports viral content, but it's just not my world.
You know whose world it is, who we need to have on the podcast. He's been on the list for a while. Joey Molinaro.
Oh, sure.
Amazing stuff.
He does good coverage and funny stuff on sports?
He does impressions of sports personalities.
Right.
And I'm not even that deep in it, but even I can appreciate them. He's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deny the opportunity. It's just that a lot of impressions involve improv, and in order to do them effectively and be funny off the cuff, I have to really understand the world, unless I do what I just did, which is complete nonsensical talk. But I don't know even the jargon, the goings-on, who's who, so it will be hard for me to formulate.
You're not very manly. You're not very manly.
Right. So it would be hard for me to formulate material on the fly.
You're like a little girl. You're like a little girl with your Barbies and your politicians and your self-help gurus.
You're projecting, Michael, because you're hurt? Should we talk?
Mislabeled?
You want to talk about why you're hurt? We'll get right into it.
Yeah, well, what else is going on? What else did you want to discuss? Oh, you mean like in life? There's a lot going on in life.
That's all I meant, actually.
Yeah.
I meant Jewish holiday season and things like, I just find like, I forgot to eat today till like 4 p.m., like one of those days. I was just like, why do I feel, calories.
Yeah.
You know those kind of things?
The days between Sukkot and Yom Kippur are lost days. They're a mystery. Yes.
And I happen to have set myself up with a lot of things to, I got the headline show coming up, and I'm trying to, what's funny is like in trying to prepare.
Yeah, I'm listening, Just
trying to prepare, man, look at those seats, just glorious in the wind. I'm actually trying to trim down material to the best, like, the cream always rises to the top. Remember Elon Gold's quote of Phil Hartman?
Yeah.
I'm like trying to find stuff in it. I can't workshop everything that I want to do, and it's the reverse problem now. There's like too much, and I want to make sure I don't waste any time on stuff that's not going to be like the strongest. And then and like I'm debating because I want to do music for the show.
So you have the show coming up at Stand Up New York.
Yeah. We talked about
that's
it
what's on your mind. Yeah,
the last episode. Whenever I do stand up and there's like especially a big show, it's very consuming, especially because it's more fresh. So it's like, it's the nerves that get me prepared, that force me to confront all the grind that's involved in getting prepared for it. And that's so it's good, but it's also like, okay, so I'm trying to go between like, should I try and incorporate music, even though I've been doing stand-up solely on the stand-up thing, and then if I incorporate music, does that make that now? So it's just like constant things. So I'm just trying to bring everything up to speed and like not do anything I don't necessarily need to do, like don't overcomplicate things, You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
There's a part of me that's like, if I just got up there with the mic and did that, like, it's sufficient. But I also want to make the show unique and do my thing, and this is like an opportunity to do that. But I haven't been working that as much as just pure stand-up in terms of, like, you know, material. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I got these funny songs that I could do on acoustic. I have the looper, which it just gets complicated. It starts to get technically complicated.
Well, I mean, you know, I think usually when people headline a show, they have a routine. They have their 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's an odd experience to be going up there, not, you know, not sure what's going to kill or crush and have.
I actually have 40 minutes of stuff I've done. And I could just do that as like a baseline. As the baseline, I could do all the tried and true. And I
think you should get creative because people are coming out who are already your fans.
Yeah.
We bought tickets. We did.
Oh,
yeah, we're getting a babysitter. Yeah. We got one ticket. Hopefully, I thought. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to. No, but we're gonna be. I think most people are there to watch you succeed and are gonna be supportive. So if you think you have something cool to make it a memorable night, I would go in that direction personally.
Yeah, I know. There's a part of my brain that's like, don't like overshoot the shot and not succeed. Better to succeed. I mean, I'll succeed. I'm hoping. You know, it's not that. It's more like comfort and smoothness. Like overcomplicate it when I don't have full control. Whatever. I have to see. But in the end, I've been doing. You know.
Yeah, move your camera so we can see.
You can't see anything.
No. You're looping. There it is.
Oh no! Break it down. Oh, I just made a mess for no reason.
Not funny.
Hold on, did I lose the camera?
Is the music supposed to be funny?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just like, here's a random song. There's like funny songs that I'm working on that I haven't done really too much, but I have to try to do them a little bit before and workshop them. Now
Did you cut the Mickey Mouse impression out?
No, I haven't cut that yet.
Okay.
Because it's more about smoothness.
Right.
You don't like it, and I know what you mean.
It's grating on the ears.
Oh, right.
It's just the. I just mean audio. Audibly.
Maybe I'll just do Blippi on stage and be a crackhead. Your favorite show?
I don't know Blippi. I know Miss Rachel. I know
she's better.
Collabo with Blippi, but she's great.
No, I didn't cut that. There's a period of the set that's had the most reps, so it goes No,
I know.
I ride that out into different sections. It's a whole process because
the Fauci joke felt dated.
Yeah, a little.
It feels dated.
But we'll see how it works. I think on crowds like this, the Fauci joke is a little because he's not in the news, but it takes me to certain places. I have this joke that I think Fauci's
died of cardiomyositis.
Myocarditis.
Myocarditis.
I like our scene of Fauci like getting shot with the ain't that a booster? Like Woody Woodpecker. Booster. There's a whole thing in there though that I've only done a few times involving that bit. So I use it as a springboard into other things. Yeah. So like it's a balance of like what's the best stuff that I think or has the potential to be the best stuff versus also the stuff that's like the most comfortable. So like if you can do something smoothly, that's better than trying to do something that may be better in terms of the substance of the joke, but it's clumsier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you might have a song that's better than another song, but one song you can play really, really tight and one song you can't. So in a live scenario, you want to be smooth and comfortable. You're about to say something.
Are you going to dance at all?
Yeah. And I'm like, here it comes. I've been taking lessons. I have choreography. And there's a tap dancing section, yes.
People want jokes, they want music, and they want dancing.
Yeah, look at you. I think you got to push yourself. They want to see it all. I mean, they want to see the dancing, the moves, the impressions. They want to see the comedy. They want to see the music. Give the people what they want.
He's a triple threat. Comedy, music, dance.
Yeah, so in the preparation period, there's a lot of like, okay, this is not ready yet, but this will be whatever and all that. So anyway, back to back to that's all the things that are going on.
Wait,
There's
and
that
when's the show? When's the show?
October 10th, Stand Up New
Yeah.
York. Gonna have
And
a bunch of friends.
what do you do? Yeah, so you've been telling me you're busy preparing. Are you just sitting with your eyes closed at your desk thinking? What does it mean to prepare? You're going through the set? You're writing? Are you writing things down? Are you how do you prepare for this besides just freaking out about it in your head?
Yeah, I have set lists compiled from previous shows, and there's like what I call a set list, or like a bit list. So within what I call for myself a set list are the titles of jokes and the line for line things I want to make sure I get in them. And then what I'll take sort of on stage with me is just the bit list, so I like have enough fluency with what I'm going to do. So
But,
it just will take me there.
like, what'd you do today to prepare?
So today I kind of took myself mentally through. It's going to start here, and then I mapped out in the spots within it where something should go. Like it's like an arc. So you're planning it arc-wise of the show. Opens with this, and opens with this kind of section here. Into this bit or this bit? Which order? Should I go here? Because then I could transition to here, but then I want to get to here. So you're kind of like building the bridge from one bit to the next. And then within ones, it's like, oh, I don't want to forget that line. I really like that line. It usually does well. So I'll mark that down and literally write it out. Because until that line, I can actually, I can improv a little bit and just be casual and like play around with the different ways to do it. If I script it, if I overscript it, and if I'm not going to memorize a monologue and I overscript it, then it might trip me up because I'm like trying to stick to word for word. I want to kind of know the different hit points, and I want to get to this line. So I kind of map out when it gets to this topic, and then under this topic umbrella, there are these things I want to hit. And then under this macro topic, whether it's like, the impression stuff or COVID stuff or family, wife, kids stuff, and under that is like subcategories of the bits within them. So it's like the bits within the bits, and then a song break here, that's going to go here. So I'm mapping all that out so I can review it and talk the bits out a little bit, and then workshop stuff that I want to test out at open mics or things up until then. Does that make sense? And then it's rehearsing songs.
Yeah. So you're sitting at a desk. That's the work. That's interesting.
Yeah, you sit at a desk with the stuff you've worked on, and then the songs. I'm trying to see if I can like play the song start to finish. Because if I'm feeling comfortable enough, I'll decide kind of which ones I might cut or play on the fly, depending on how it's feeling. But then it gets to the point where it's getting too long, where I have to be like, okay, like I'm gonna run out of time,
Got it.
Anyway,
so
that's the geeky process of it.
Before we get off of the Chagim and we get onto the Mislaibeled thing, there's a reel I want to talk to you about. I sent this to you. I'm going to show it to you now on the screen, and I think we'll be able to show it. I'm going to show it to you, and I just want to discuss it because it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. This has 2.3 million views on Instagram. Have you ever seen anything like this? Isn't it a remarkable piece of content? Just watch it a million times. I've watched it a million times.
Why?
It's whoever made it must be a real brilliant like connoisseur of viral content. It's designed to be like almost above thought. It combines elements that just leave you like speechless. It's weird. There's no context for it. It doesn't make any sense. You think you're being led into one direction, and it's just like, I think it's brilliant.
I'm trying to think about it. It leaves me feeling a little confused.
Yeah. But you need.
What did I just watch?
Yeah, you have to watch it several times.
I had it figured out on the first watch what he did editing wise. Not to toot my own horn. Is that what got you?
No, not editing. Just it has 2.9 million views right now. What it's supposed to be? I think that's the question. What was this supposed to be?
Doesn't it say like good yum tov?
Yeah, but what's with the guy jumping, and then it looks like his ankle broke, but it's a hand and it's holding an apple, and then like at the very end there's a little bit of honey. It's not even like well timed. Is it like yeah? I think it's like the perfect piece of like Instagram reel. I mean like real TikTok content.
But it's not funny. It's not one thing. It's not anything.
It's not anything. It's yeah.
I'm trying to really think about it. Like, it leaves you going like this. Like
Yeah.
that's the feeling it gives me. Huh?
Yeah. But the more you watch it, the more questions you have about it. Which is like viral. It's like virality. Like,
Can we pull it
you
up
know,
one more time?
yes, let's
That's
watch
why I have to watch it again.
Hold on. Oops. Sorry.
Hold on.
The music was weird on that one.
A Gute Yom Tov. Okay, close it. What are the comments? Give me a few top comments.
Good question. Is this a super deep Jewish meme or am I having a stroke?
So
25,000 likes.
those are the funny things. The comments on these videos are the best. Keep
For
going.
everyone that's confused, it was Jewish New Year and you eat apple with honey to make sure you have a sweet good year. Cool. Free Palestine.
Keep going.
Video hasn't loaded yet, but I swear if that's that damn video of an apple coming out of a shoe with honey dripping on it. Me when there's an apple in my shoe. I have really thick piss and I gotta piss. The next one is Christ is Lord.
Okay.
What? Explain this in Fallout New Vegas.
Okay, so
This is fine. This is the last one. Am I Jewish now?
I think this falls onto like there's a sliver of the internet that is almost like a dream or like something inexplicable like gold dress or blue dress.
Wow.
It's not funny, but you can't not watch it over and over. It like tickles a part of your brain that makes you want to, and that's why the comments are so funny because everybody feels this way, but no one can kind of explain it.
Yeah.
What did I just watch? And that's a unique kind of content that you're right probably has a virality to it. Why? Because like if I think about it, you have to watch it over and over. You think you missed something. There's a lot in there that's like that I think it plays through a subconsciousness of content consumption.
Yeah, it feels like a dream.
Yeah, because one, he's jumping in reverse. It's being played backwards. It looks like he's jumping off the rock normally, but it's actually reverse. Can you tell?
So?
Yes, look how he holds his kippah. Why do you think his hand goes off his kippah? Because he grabbed it jumping on the way up.
Let me see here.
No, start from the top. Look, his hand goes on his kippah like this. No one would do that.
But and then you start thinking about like the time this guy took to put on fake like pants on his legs and into the shoes and
that whole thing. So he jumped. He went like this. He played it backwards because that's why his hand bizarrely goes like this on his way down.
Why would he put it on the way up?
What?
Your keeper doesn't fall off on your way up. You think that guy jumped onto this rock?
Let's see.
You think this guy
Let me see.
jumped onto that rock?
Let me see it. You have to go to the beginning.
Yeah, I gotta.
Last time. This is why it's viral because we keep doing this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm trying to be smart. Hold on. It's not playing.
Oops. There.
Wait.
I just don't think that guy is capable of jumping from the ground onto the rock.
It's hard to say. I have to watch it closely. Either way, something looks off. Something looks off in the beginning. I think it's in reverse. Maybe I'm wrong. And then the hands, and then the fact that he picks up one apple, but the other one is just a hand in a boot.
Yeah, it's a childish thought.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think that's definitely worth talking about in the most not worth it way. You know, it's purely.
We talk about content here. I mean, lots of people are trying to get 3 million views on a reel. You know.
No, I get it. I'm not even joking. I'm like, it's just a weird part of of absurdity.
Yeah.
I can't explain that. And we remember the guy on the skateboard sipping cranberry juice, ocean spray.
Yeah.
Now here you go again. You say you want your free. There was something about it. You're like, I don't know what it is. This is a vibe.
Yeah.
And the comments are amazing. Thick piss.
I gotta piss a thick piss. Piss. Thick piss.
Speaking of content and podcasts, Michael, do you want to talk about what happened last week? We got a shout out.
Well, first of all,
Yes.
target hit.
What?
Target hit for
Target hit.
what we were going for.
Yeah, I guess so.
They made a reel out. I didn't realize they made a reel out of it.
Yeah, they did. So let's give a quick recap on what happened, and I'll sum it up by starting with this: buckle up, Schlita.
They're. I'm not going to be able to talk about it without. With no longer hiding behind the fancy words like sociological experiment.
Sociologically, okay.
I'm
yes,
just
look.
insulting if I talk about it.
So the Bacharim, the boys at Mislaibeled, the podcast, responded to our response of a thing, and they gave us different reviews, Michael. They gave me and you slightly different reactions.
They did. Well, they're. If I wonder what they'd give me. How'd they give me a review if I had 120,000 followers?
Oh, is that what?
Seemed, I'm not saying you don't deserve the praise, but it seemed like they're a little bit piggybacking on the followers.
Well, to be fair, I was joking around, and you were making a serious point.
That's true.
So if you were kibitzing along, it might have been different. So I wouldn't necessarily attribute it to just clout of any kind. I think it's more like what I was doing, and I'm going to just dip into this now because now a scorched earth. That whole podcast is now in my I'm going to avenge you, Michael.
They were nice to you.
Yeah, they were nice to me, but they messed with my boy. They're all getting impersonated now. They're all getting impersonated, especially
I don't mind, for the record. I don't.
Did you see the other friend, the guest who was on the way? He's like, but what did you think of their take?
He seemed nice.
I liked him. He was great. He kept going. Because Label's like, by the way, people say I have a weird voice. And they say I have a weird voice, but buckle up, Schlita. I don't. By the way, I don't hate women like at all. Like, not at all. Like this is Label's having a good dream. It's so fun. It's so fun. I'll get into their studio and we'll have a little fun. But they had that guest on who was their friend who was like, but wait. I know he was joking, but what did you think of their take? And here's the thing. So here's what I'll say about it. By the way, let's go. Here's what I'll say about it. What bothered me was that not bothered me where he's like, what can I say? The other guy, he's an idiot. The fact that you said the second a woman comes into the studio, we were talking about the Flatbush Girl episode and all of that, and we've already gone too much back and forth on this. But either way, when you said that and I watched the clip back, I'm like, the larger point you're making isn't really have fundamentally much to do with feminism as much as when they felt like things were threatened or challenged, even though they live that kind of life, they just started to come at her pretty hard. Yeah. But they turned it into you having this like woke liberal perspective, and I thought that was like you're arguing with the wrong point. That's really not what you were saying. So it was kind of talking cross purposes. So come at you if you want, but not for misunderstanding what you were saying. Yeah. And then he's hiding behind this sociologically, expeditedly, experiment, classic liberal.
I thought I used the word sociological. That seemed to like, and then they impersonated me as like a nerd because I used the word sociological.
Sociologically.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the interpretation of what I said was a little bit lazy, but I guess I could have been a little bit more clear with what I was trying to say.
Right.
So yeah, I don't even want to like go back over the point because we already made it. You can go back to that episode.
Yeah, you can see the clip. I think it was funny. It's funny to go back and forth on whatchamacallit.
No, it's fun. It's fun to talk to another group of people through a podcast and never having actually spoken to them.
Right.
We don't know them, and we're having a conversation with them, which is weird and funny and fun. I kept watching after their segment about us, and they mentioned Andrew Schultz, and then Label said they were talking about should they insult Andrew Schultz because one day he'll be on the podcast, and he said, yeah, well, one day they'll eventually be on the podcast. Who do you think is going to get Andrew Schultz first, us or them?
I don't know. Not a competition for me. Respectfully.
Answer.
Yeah, sorry. I'm telling the truth. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's an issue at all. Like, that's the kind of life I live. Yeah, I doubled down. It's fun. They were good sports about that, and they showered me with some nice love, so I'm a big fan. I love those guys. They're just great.
They're good.
Hey, but Michael, you've been watching them for a while, so you know what? It was just it's fun. I think it's
cool.
It's
a cool experience.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. They ripped you to shreds a little bit, but really, I think for a point that was missed, which was
I don't feel like they ripped me to shreds because I don't think they understood what I said or like they ripped like the general idea that other people were making that they like put onto me. Like if they had really engaged with what I said and ripped it to shreds, I would have felt more insulted. But like I feel like they didn't hear what I was saying, so I don't really feel insulted by
But
it.
what did you think of their take? Here's the thing. I'll wrap it up on this. We actually spoke about this after we made that episode where we reviewed that podcast. I think the more refined point would be, and I think they'd agree with this, but who knows? We'll have to have a joint pod and discuss it. But the difference between the lifestyle they live, which may not be consistent with, say, Torah values or a certain standard, is they're not going out to say we should change the standards, even though they don't always live up to them.
Right.
And maybe there should be accommodations for being sensitive to people who fall short. They're not saying that ever. The people who come in to challenge it are saying that, and that's where they get defensive, to say, you're moving the standards, you're moving the goalposts. We're not saying to do that just because, like, I just got to go out and drink and party, whatever. They're not saying that. Like, I don't hate women. They're not saying that. They're not saying to move the standards, while other people who are challenging fundamentally are the fundamentals are, and that's where you have to get defensive.
Right. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go into it a little bit, but just really this is the last point.
Yeah.
The part about the woman that I did mean is I've seen a lot of people come on the show, and I've seen them who have pretty radical takes on, like, you know, when halacha no longer applies, when people have been abused and there's sexual trauma, and like you need to start doing psychedelics and all these therapies. And what I meant about the women point is, like, it seems like they had the chutzpah to really yell at her and speak to her very rudely. I just don't think they'd have the balls to do that to a dude who was coming on. I don't think they'd have the balls to like go 2-on-1 yelling at a dude, raising their voices and like calling her like ignorant, like calling the guest ignorant and stupid and using words like that.
Right.
If it wasn't a chick, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would do that to a dude, and I think that's like representative a little bit of like the culture.
I'll just say I wonder if it's less her gender per se and more the role she was representing. What happened?
The persona.
In the fact that I don't know their stories and life stories personally, but I think in that episode she was touching a nerve about divorce and custody and parental rights that clearly was hitting a nerve, was a bit triggering and a bit like sensitive a topic. So that's what caused the emotions to run high. And so they came at her for that. If a guy came in with the exact perspective who was maybe like a reform or saying like, and saying exactly point for point what she was saying and triggering all the same emotions, they might have also been like, you're out of control, you're out of your mind. They might have been hard on her, or maybe you would have interpreted it as less aggressive or antagonistic because they were of the same sex. So maybe there was a part of you that was naturally more defensive, and maybe you're the sexist. No, I don't know.
Well, maybe I'm like more old fashioned in there. Yeah. And, like, you don't talk to like women like that.
But you talk to men like that, meaning it's like the same.
Yeah, maybe I'm like more traditional and conservative in there.
Right.
Like, it's like rude. Like, you don't do that.
By the way, no way. Yeah. So
RFK 2024, baby.
You still on that? Oh, he released some stuff that I'm just like, oh god, he's nuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Right,
but policy wise, like stuff he's not my guy in any way.
Next episode. I think he went a little too hard on the podcast.
What's that?
He went a little bit too hard on the podcast, or he should have pumped the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, and then he started actually releasing policy prescriptions on things, and it's like, I will ban fracking. I will ban like his energy, environmental stuff is not my jam, not my cup of tea, and it's crazy. Like he's not a freedom guy. He's not a politically aligned with me in any way. Speaking of politics, though, quick wrap up. Did you watch any of the debate last night? GOP.
I didn't even know what happened until today.
I barely did. I just happened to be at my parents' house, and my dad had it on. He was sitting like 3 feet from the screen, just like blasting it. And what's funny is I didn't watch much of it, but you don't even have to. You like that?
I have another. I don't want to say a joke about your dad, but I have.
Yeah, he whatchamacallit? Oh, I was gonna say, like, you don't even have to watch these anymore to sort of dismiss it, because everything everybody says since Trump has been on the scene sounds so scripted and so canned that you're looking at, the whole appeal of Trump was that he's saying what's on his mind. And that's why people are like, oh my God, that's refreshing. He's like, I don't care. He's a total loser. Like this is not a guy who's been prepped and canned and scripted to say what he thinks will poll well per se. And they're all leaning into that same model of what I think got people very discouraged and uninspired by politics. We need to do this, and they're sticking to their point. And so, like, when they finish and they're waiting for the applause lines, they're not getting them in the same effect because people aren't playing the game anymore. That's my take.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Pence is up there saying, you know, Joe Biden doesn't need to be on a picket line. He needs to be on the unemployment line. And they're trying to do that. And back in the day, that was like, Mike Pence came out swinging tonight, and he'd get his viral clip. But everyone's like, ugh, it's cringy.
Did you see? I saw a clip of Chris Christie's nickname he gave Trump.
Donald.
Awful.
He's like, Donald Trump. I just made a video on it today. I made a video on it today. They're not going to call you Donald Trump anymore. They're going to call you Donald Duck.
That's like Gary Vee. If you.
I love duck. I love roast duck with jam. Delicious. It's You're like, are you really trying to beat Donald Trump at his own game?
Who on his team gave the go-ahead for that?
This is what I mean. These are laps. These are failed entertainers. They're not. They don't like do it like the way Vivek is doing it is he's playing to his own strengths, the things he's geeky about and knowledgeable about or whatever. I kind of like that, and he's avoiding going after Trump because these are the people who try to beat Trump at his own game, like insult and entertainment and like kind of trying to be outrageous. You're gonna lose.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose. Like the junkyard dog of Trump and he's like an MMA fighter, and they're trying to play and they're trying to box in the octagon. It's like we're gonna call you Donald Duck. He wanted a huge applause line, but it's like, he's going for that. Terrible.
Yeah, there's something deeply disturbing about the matchup being Trump Biden again.
Yeah, I agree.
Isn't that like kind of scary?
I can't see it happening any other way. Because in a way, the way I see it, and don't take this out of context, anybody, all the Trumpkins out there and everybody who's like, they come after me for crap, I'm like, give me a break. Just listen to me for a second, okay, everybody? Listen. Do I think Trump could beat Biden? Sure, but I also think he's probably the only Republican who could lose. In a general. Mm-hmm. I think the only one who really could lose.
He lost already.
Yeah, I'm just saying, right now, as it stands, I'm not an expert on politics. I don't want to sound like a pundit, but to me, the only Republican who I could see losing to Joe Biden is a Donald Trump.
Interesting.
Not to say he can't beat him and defy the odds like he did in 2016, and he's surging in popularity, and no one gets a crowd going, like he has the entertainment chops. But the only one who could lose is probably Trump, and almost everybody else would probably, I think would win. I don't think DeSantis has the charisma and performance chops of like a general election thing. He says, "Look, Florida, there's an awkwardness there."
It's possible just by going by like the actuarial charts, they'll both be dead in a few months. So.
Oh, geez, you are dark.
Could be.
You are dark.
Could be.
Yeah, someone said something about I feel like Biden will be the only president to get assassinated by time. It was dark. I don't want to get flagged on this episode, Michael, but you're doing it. That's not dark. No. But yeah.
That wasn't a threat.
No, not at all. Anyway, it was just sad. It was sad to watch. Like, there's no superstars really. I like Vivek, but I'm also like a lot of them are defaulting to the same playbook.
Yeah.
We have a great country. I'm working on the impression. Working on it. I could do it for like a second,
Mm-hmm.
But I know you still want me to just do an Indian accent because
I think it's funny because it's so off. It's so not funny. It becomes funny to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, have a good Sukkot.
Yeah. And happy holidays for the remainder of them. They're on weekends this year. It's not too bad. Yeah. It's all kind of manageable.
Yeah.
But
after the holidays, we're gonna make some big announcements. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And about the podcast and about the future of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned, baby, for the future of Buckle Up, as to be announced soon. That is Buckle Up episode 73. Thank you for watching, and thank you for having me.